Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch our video podcast. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family. Hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, it's the Sibling Happy Hour. I'm here with my sis, Aundrea. We're going to be dilly-dadding a little bit. Then we're going to be talking about Tim Walz, to the windows, to the walls. And then we're going to be talking about men and their inability to be their true selves. But that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
I can't call it. Now, you sent me something yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, please excuse my French. But you said, don't forget to ask me about why I'm a bad bitch.
No. Correction. Why I'm not.
Oh, why you're not. Oh, okay.
I am not.
I was, under the influence yesterday when you texted me.
Gotcha.
So I read that wrong. Okay, so why are you not a bad B?
So as you know, my 40th birthday is coming up.
That's right.
Okay, next Friday. Now, I'm going on a trip with my friends, the quintessential girls trip. And I said, I've always had a deep respect for baddies and the amount of work they put in to be baddies. Like, I've always had that. So that's not me. So I said, I'm going to try to be a baddie. I notice y'all probably, if you're watching on YouTube, you see I got the lashes and my nails are done, all the stuff. My hair is braided because, Black women get their hair braided for the trip. And in the process of doing all of this, I realized baddie life is not for me. It's extremely expensive. It's expensive. It's time consuming. I mean, you really have to love this. When I see women and fit, check. Face, B, face card, doesn't decline, hair, done, baby hairs, laid. I really, honestly, all of us should bow down because the amount of work that they put in to bring beauty and baddie energy into the world, we should be honoring that because it's hard work. I gave up.
Wait, when you gave up?
I was supposed to get more things done. I was gonna get my eyebrows waxed and tinted. I was gonna get more things done. And I quit. After the nails, after the mani-pedi, I said, I'm done. And this is the best I can do. I think I look pretty.
Yes.
And this is the best I can do. This is it. I'm just not a baddie.
First of all, you always look pretty because our parents made good-looking children. So
that is true.
That's just true. What it is.
We
and
are
ladies and
quite
gentlemen,
lucky.
if y'all think I'm good-looking, my brother got me beat. Like, my brother is better looking. My brother is classically handsome.
Yes.
All right, always has been. And so, like, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Second thing is, all those women that do that, most of the time got somebody else paying for it. That's the reason why I'm seeing all these social media posts of women asking, hey, you going to pay for this to get done? And women going to pay for this? Are you going to pay for this to get done? Because this stuff is expensive.
The lifestyle is so expensive. It's so expensive. And I just can't keep up. I can't do it. I live in Atlanta, and Atlanta is the home of bad bitches. And I can't keep up. Y'all have it. Y'all can have it. I bow down to you. I am not a baddie, and I'm okay with that. I have accepted it, and I'm okay.
Also, like, how many 40-year-old baddies? How many 40-year-olds are in Atlanta? Yes. So I was talking to my bestie a couple of weeks ago, and she was in Florida, and she was like, walking around here, there's so many good-looking people. Well, where there's sun, there's always going to be good-looking people. Yes. That kind of helps. But also, I was telling her, because we're both in this dating game in the DC area, and we've both been here for at least 20 years, and we done dated everybody. Like, between the both of us, I don't think there's anybody that we've dated everybody. And when I go to other places, I realize that even though the DC area is physically fit, Like
Mhm.
the county that I live in has been rated the number one fittest county in the country. So like people stay fit, they keep their body right. Their
Mhm.
face, on the other hand, like
Yeah,
DC is not holding it down facially.
yeah, I'm from there, and so I can tell you as a resident of the DMV, we like face cards. Okay, yeah, we're looking at a lot of sixes and sevens. Like
Yes,
we're
a
looking at
lot.
a lot of mid-range, mid-tier cards. Mid-tier cards where there's not a whole lot of Amex black cards.
No, there isn't.
There's just not.
And I was talking to an acquaintance that's not from the area because we're from here. We grew up here.
Yeah.
And the only reason why you are living in DC, the DMV area now, is either you were born and raised here
Mhm.
or you came here for work.
Yes.
Nobody ever is just like, you know what, I want to move to DC because, unless they're
Right.
from a small town and they think the nation's capital is like that.
Yeah.
So we're not getting the most attractive people, number one. And number two, my acquaintance was saying that everybody that lives in this area is stressed out because everybody has
Yes.
stressful jobs and we wear it
Yes.
on our faces. So people
Mhm.
here will age a little bit quicker, have more wrinkles.
Mhm.
Botox, I know, is making a killing in this area because
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna be a customer because and there's no shame in my game. I will be getting injectables, collagen, Restylane, Botox, all the things. There's no shame in my game over that. You ain't
I,
gonna have me walking around with forehead wrinkles.
look, I got my forehead wrinkles and I'm cool with it. Like whatever. I'm
Well,
44 years old. Whatever.
only when you move your eyebrows. When you relax your eyebrows, the wrinkles, they're gone. And
Well,
so mine, I'll be like, I
yes.
make so many incredulous faces that the wrinkles stay. And so because I'm always incredulous.
You act like that's not me. That's the same way. My normal default face is WTF.
Yeah,
That's my normal
truly,
default face.
truly. So much is going on.
God,
Because
people
I
are
know
so
we have a
stupid.
lot to talk about on this show.
Yeah.
Just a lot is going on. Yeah.
All right.
So I'm not a baddie, and I praise baddies for all the work y'all do to bring beauty into the world. And I salute you.
You're talking about Baddie as an action, right? Like the actual action of trying to keep up that appearance.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, because we're naturally good looking. Like that's naturally
Yeah.
pretty. Like you ain't
No,
got to
I'm
do
talking
a lot of people
about
that got to do that work.
right.
Have to do that work.
Not all. Usually, baddies are when they take the makeup off are typically still beautiful. Like makeup is not going to turn you into a completely different person. Like it's just.
Yes, it
Special
can.
effects makeup.
No, I have seen some makeovers on TikTok and Instagram. I was like, that ain't you.
Sometimes, sometimes they do that for clicks. They'll purposely add makeup to make them look bad, and then do the
Oh,
after with the makeup. Like I've seen some. Like I'm like, you don't really look like that. Nobody looks that bad. Like come on
social
now.
media be lying, man. I can't
It'd be
stand
lying.
it.
People are
Social media
doing
be
it
lying.
to like, oh, look at my before and after. This is how good my makeup skills are. But you purposely made yourself look bad so that your makeup skills look that much better. But no, I'm talking about people who are in the bit, like who actively work for the baddie aesthetic
Mm.
and like put up the money and the time and the effort for the facials and the hair and the nails and the lashes and the brows and the lip filler and whatever it is, like, and y'all in the gym, like Megan the Stallion's in the gym, like y'all are in there in the Pilates
Speaking
classes.
of which, did you see the video that she posted on?
Mamushi.
Oh, no, the actual video where the towel is coming down.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Megan,
Her body is insane.
hold on, I want to make a personal plea. Megan, I just want to let you know that even though I am advanced in age, I'm also advanced in a lot of areas in life. Let me introduce you to this game. I would love to hang out with you sometimes. I can't say I'm gonna take you out because you got more money than me, but I'll treat you to a lovely evening, a
Yeah.
lovely, organic, regular evening. Just give me an opportunity. That's my
Yeah.
little plea that I'm putting out there for Megan Thee Stallion. Because
And
good Lord.
I feel like, well, for one, she got a whole man. She got a whole man.
Oh,
But
she do?
yeah, she does for quite
Oh,
some time
well,
now. But
congratulations to her, I guess.
yeah, she got a whole man, and yeah. But I feel like, I don't know why, because Megan feels like she's my bestie, but I feel like she would like a degular date. Like, I feel like she would find it very cute and charming.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep it. Listen, you
I
never
take
know.
I take it to the Adult Arcade over here in DC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We have
I
a
feel
good
like
time. We have some drinks, play some games,
yeah,
and you
I
know we're
feel
gonna
like
laugh.
she would love that.
Yeah. Tell me more about your trip, because we own it now. Panama.
Yes, I leave on Tuesday. I'm so excited. My brother is gonna house sit for me. So,
Your other
and
brother.
yes, other
Yeah.
brother is gonna house sit. But I'm very excited. All my friends are excited. I'm like just praying that the weather, because I've been looking at the weather and it don't look good. It's saying rain all week. And so but it's only like 50% chance.
So
So I'm
you know how
praying.
that rain and that 50% kind of works, right? Like,
No.
I just found this out. Like, when they say it's like a 50% chance of rain, it's like a 50% chance of rain in a certain area. It doesn't,
Okay.
like, we live in DC, or I live in DC. When they say it's 50% chance of rain in DC, it could be DC or the surrounding areas, and it's like 50% chance of rain in that particular area, not blanketing the whole city. So,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
know, and
So
it's only 50%.
it's only 50%. And I am really holding out hope that
Yeah,
the weather
no.
is nice. So
And even if it
uh
isn't, y'all gonna still be in Panama. Y'all gonna still have a
yeah,
good time.
still have fun.
Yes.
Because guess what? Bars are indoors.
Right. Yeah, they're in
So
and outdoors, but yes,
in and
they're
out.
still
But
indoors.
yeah, they can be indoors.
The strip
So we
club
will
is
still,
indoors.
it's all indoors.
What
So
if a strip club was outdoors? That'd be kind of
no, there's
what?
a public indecency.
I mean, and then a
So
closed area, but it's outside.
okay. So you're talking about like a strip coliseum.
Hey, that's even better.
Okay.
What? I like that idea. Take the Coliseum. Godzilla was already sleeping in the Coliseum. Might as well have a strip-a-thon in the Coliseum.
Godzilla's in there. Like
Well, he's out now.
we're not gonna go down this road because that's I feel like the tangent that's coming up, it's too much. So like
Yeah,
we're not gonna go down
yeah.
that road.
I can feel
But
the
I'm very
tangent building.
excited. I got a
Yeah.
lot of great stuff planned, and I'm very excited. So, and the reason why I wanted to try to be a baddie is I'm taking professional photos while I'm
Mhm,
down there.
mhm.
And you know, this is gonna be the photos that I look back on at that time when I was 40,
Right.
back in the day. And it's like kind of like a revisionist history. I could tell people, see, I was a baddie back in the day. When the truth is I wasn't. I really wasn't. And
So you
only
gonna
the
lie to the
people,
people?
yeah. I mean, I'm writing the story. And if I got photo evidence, who are you to dispute it?
Well, you get it honestly, because that's how America does it. You lie,
I've learned from my country.
right?
I tell a story I want to tell.
So you want to tell you can still tell the story of a baddie even though you didn't get all the stuff done. I don't even
Yeah.
know what this other stuff you was talking about. Highlighting eyebrows. What does that even mean?
Eyebrow tinting. So I always get my eyebrows waxed so they're in nice shape, and then I
Uh-huh.
get them tinted so they're darker because, as you see, like I have very faint eyebrows.
Yeah,
They don't
that
show.
runs in the family.
They're runs in the family.
Yeah.
They don't show up well in photos. So sometimes I get them tinted so they're darker and they show up better in photos.
Mm.
And of course, I got a whole new Shein wardrobe. Shout out to Shein. Put a little Fashion Nova mixed in. Because that's the only way I'm getting a whole new wardrobe.
I didn't realize Shein, like I got an advertisement yesterday for Shein. I didn't know Shein wore sold men's clothes. I thought it was
Oh,
all
yeah.
women's clothes.
Yeah.
And I saw some stuff on there and I was like, you know what? I could rock this, but it's a little different than Fashion Nova because Fashion Nova is based here.
Yeah.
Shein is based overseas, and them overseas sizes don't be fitting my frame.
Gotcha. Well, you got to look at the reviews. Shein gives like customers rewards for leaving reviews. So if you look at the reviews, people will tell you, yeah, it's true to size, or no, it's a little oversized, or no, it runs small. So read the reviews, and you can. I have never had anything but good picks from Shein,
Okay.
and the stuff be like $14.
I mean,
So
yeah, that's how it works. And how is the return policy?
terrible.
Okay. Yeah. So if you get it, if you spend your money, you just spent your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but when you buying a shirt for $5, you know what I'm saying? You like, well, chalk that up to the game.
Yeah, I guess you gotta charge it up to the game.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm excited for your trip. I'm excited I'm sure you're gonna post on social media while you're there.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So
So I'm gonna get to see Trip, and then I see you the following weekend, celebrate your 40th in person. So I'm gonna be
yes.
excited about that. It's a whole 2-week, 3-week celebration of you.
Yeah. Which, we don't do.
No, we don't do.
We don't do that. It's, we're not Jehovah's Witnesses, but we just don't celebrate our birthdays that often. I saw a meme about Leos. They'll talk about their birthday for a whole month, and then the actual day will come and they won't care. And that's how it is. And like we just like the excitement around it.
Hmm.
But the actual day is like, I don't care about that. Just, I like the
Yeah.
excitement around it.
Well, we're going to get into more of that in the third segment, specifically about men celebrating their birthdays and being called out for it. But before we get to that, we got to go from the windows to the walls and talk about Tim Walz, the new VP pick for Kamala Harris. And we're going to get into that next. All right, sis. There's a new VP candidate for the Democratic ticket.
Yes.
You hit me up and you were like, I want to talk about this now. I was like, we already filmed the show. The show has been released and I've already got a show lined up for Friday, which, by the
Yes.
way, go check out, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Stephanie L. Carnazales and her book, Sin Padres en Papeles, that talks about unaccompanied minors from Central America that migrate here to the U.S. Go listen, go watch that episode. She's brilliant, beautiful person
Great show.
inside and out. Go get the book. I've started reading it. It is a eye opener. If you truly want to learn about immigration and migration from Central America, she hits all the buttons. But I'd already released that had programmed to release that show on Friday, and you was like, I want to talk about it. I was like, well, we'll just get to it on the next Sibling Happy Hour. So we're here now.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about it because I'm so excited.
Okay, well, let's give everybody a little background. Timothy James Walz. That's W-A-L-Z, not
Waltz.
T. There is no
Waltz.
T in there. It's Walz, not Waltz. Walz, not Waltz. Okay.
Yeah, tell Black people that.
Black people gonna put an S at the end of a name, and they're gonna put a T somewhere.
Yes,
that's just what
it's
we
Waltz.
do. Waltz. He was born April 6th, 1964, in West Point, Nebraska. He's an American politician, former school teacher, a retired U.S. Army non-commissioned officer. Walz was served as the 41st governor of Minnesota since 2019. Before his governor role, he was a member of the U.S. House of Representatives from 2007 to 2019, representing Minnesota's 1st congressional district. He was in the Army National Guard. We'll get to more of that later, where he rose to the rank of Command Sergeant Major over 24 years. He's worked as a high school social studies teacher and a football coach before entering politics. I know a little something about being a high school social studies teacher. Well,
yes,
almost. I went into
Very
that
close.
school and I was like, nah, can't do this. But he did it. He did it. He was elected to the U.S. House by defeating a Republican incumbent in the heavily rural district in 2006. He was reelected 5 times before becoming governor in 2018 and winning re-election in 2022. He was selected by Kamala Harris on August 6, 2024 to be Kamala Harris's running mate for the 2024 U.S. presidential election. This election has generated significant attention with various political figures and analysts weighing in on the decision. For instance, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, who was one of the finalists to be on the ticket, said that adding Walz was a strong addition to the ticket. Walz has been actively campaigning alongside Harris with recent events, including rallies in Arizona and Nevada. During a rally in Pennsylvania, Walz made headlines by calling Donald Trump and J.D. Vance weird, which prompted a response from Trump. We're not even going to get into Trump's responses.
Yeah. You're
In addition,
unhinged.
right, always unhinged. In addition, Walz's military record has started to become under scrutiny, but we're going to get into more of that later. Jay, I know that you were really excited. You wanted to talk about this. So I'm going to give you the floor to just talk about why you're excited about Tim Walz.
What a great pick. I mean, I would not have been mad with Josh Shapiro, but we kind of need him in Pennsylvania. No, Tim Walz, excellent pick. It really is feeling like one of the reasons why I'm so excited about it is it really feels like the Harris campaign is listening to the people. You know, it really feels like the whole campaign is taking into account what people are saying online, you know, what people are feeling about the issues and what's important to them. She's listening and adapting, and that's reflected in her pick of Tim Walz. Tim Walz has become a sensation because of TikTok and Twitter. He's become memed. He actually has a really great presence on TikTok. For a 60-year-old dude, like, he's very adept at the internet. And not only that, you feel like what you see is what you get with Tim Walz. Like, he's very transparent, it feels like, in terms of his stance on things, in terms of the policy positions that he supports, and in his support of Kamala Harris. And also, he definitely gives off the vibe of like, yeah, I'm here to support her. I'm going to be the number 2. I don't have aspirations to be number 1. I'm here to be a support. And you really feel that. I mean, another thing that really excites me about him is he says the things that we're all thinking. Trump and J.D. Vance are weird and creepy.
I don't like to use the word weird when describing people. I like to use the word unique or different.
No, because those don't have the same. He means it with the negative connotation.
Yeah, well, okay.
We're not calling J.D. Vance unique, quirky, eccentric. No, he's weird, and it's creepy. Him following Kamala's plane around everywhere, trying to get some photo op, like, that never works out, and he just ends up looking weird and awkward. Him doing rallies in the same city at the same time as Kamala, except she's got thousands in the crowd and he's got tens. Like,
no, he's got hundreds, not tens.
No, some of them was tens.
Okay.
I saw the video. Some of them was tens. It comes off really weird. Like, what's the game plan with that? It's weird. Why are you following
Be confrontational?
Right. But she is not the vice presidential nominee. She's the presidential nominee.
Yeah.
He don't need to be following her around. But I guarantee he's not going to bring that same energy to Tim Walz, because Tim Walz, I am praying for a VP debate. I'm praying. He's incredibly smart. He's quick-witted, funny. He definitely gives off America's Dad vibes. And he's got a personal connection to things like, you know, the fertility journey he and his wife went through and the use of IVF, him being a serviceman, and fighting for the country. Like, he's tapped in to these different things. Him being a public school teacher, he's tapped into the community in a way that I don't think any other choice for BP would have been. So when I dug more into who he is and what he's about, very excited for this pick.
Well, let's get into what he's about. So let's
Yeah.
get into some of his key policy positions. Number one, let's start with healthcare.
Yeah.
He's for abortion rights. He's a strong advocate for abortion rights and even signed a bill in 2023 codifying the right to abortion in Minnesota.
One of the first governors to do so.
He's also a big fan of the Affordable Care Act. As a U.S. representative, he supported the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare. What about the economy? Job creations and taxes. Walz enacted policies aimed at job creation and tax modifications in Minnesota, not Minnesota's. Once again, I tell you, Black folks put ass on everything.
You're gonna put an S on it.
His economy policies reflected a progressive agenda, including support for labor rights and increased public education spending. Why would he want to increase public education spending? Because he was actually in the classroom. A lot of these people that want to curtail education spending have never stepped foot in the classroom, never been a teacher, don't know what it's like.
And be clear, the Republican goal is to obliterate the Department of Education.
Yep, that's part of the Project 2025. Labor rights. He's for union support. Walz has been a champion of progressive labor policies, including outlawing non-compete agreements and raising the minimum wage for small business employees. He is a former union member and has actively supported labor movements. Of course, he's for public education spending. He supports increased spending on the public education, especially with his background being a high school teacher and a football coach, influences his strong stance in education. Once again, he was down there in the battleground, in the trenches. He understands what these kids need. And we're going to get more into some of the stuff that he did as an educator later. Climate and energy. He's all about that climate action. Walz has a track record of supporting climate action and renewable energy initiatives. Gun control. He's for universal background checks. During his second term as governor, Walz pushed for and signed legislation for universal gun background checks. Now, for those people that are saying, well, he's coming for our guns. No, he's a hunter. He has guns. This is the thing that Republicans are kind of like, how are we going to attack him? Because he has guns and he goes hunting. He's a rural dude. That's what people do. Nobody wants to take your guns away. I don't want to take no guns away. I believe in the Second Amendment. I'm for guns. I have guns. Sensible. Right. You got guns. You got the rifleman rifle, but you got guns. We are for guns. We are for also being smart about the legislation of guns.
And a very interesting thing, he used to have an A rating from the NRA, but since taking his stance on common sense universal background checks, he now has an F rating from the NRA, and he is proud of that.
Yeah, that's good. All right, social issues. Cannabis legalization. Walz has supported the legalization of cannabis and other progressive social policies. If you don't know what cannabis is, it's weed.
Yeah.
The marijuana. Snoop Dogg.
Sure.
Snoop Dogg. He also had a really great response for the protest for George Floyd's murder, moving the DA or the prosecutor that was responsible for that and placing somebody that was going to be a little bit more impartial instead of being biased. I said I was going to go on one of his things as far as education. I don't know if you're familiar with this story, but there was a young man that was in one of his schools that wanted to start essentially an LGBTQ plus club.
Yes. Yeah.
And Tim Walz, the football coach, decided that he was going to sponsor the club because he felt that it was extremely important for everybody to see a heterosexual, stereotypical football man to support the LGBTQ plus community. And that student said that support gave him so much confidence in his life because he felt supported and loved. So
Yeah.
when we talk about teachers, and I went into teaching to help the kids, truly help the kids.
Yes.
How else did he help the kids? He gave them free school lunch.
Yes. And the great thing about that legislation is it made school lunch free for all children so that the children who needed it didn't feel any kind of way about getting it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They don't have to face any kind of stigma or anything from their peers because it's free for everyone across the board. And to have that thought process, to think about it that deeply, to know, kids might have faced some stigma. Also, you never know what families are going through.
Right. Because
They may
some
be
people
up
will
and
fake
then
the funk.
they may
Right.
be up one day and down the next. You never know what different families are going to, but knowing that they can send their child to school and knowing that their child will be able to have school lunch regardless of their financial situation is amazing.
It takes a stressor of parenting away from the
Yeah.
parent. It's
Yeah.
one less thing to worry about as a parent, as
Yeah.
I've talked to so many parents, have to be focused on so much.
Yes.
And for the people who are like, just it's the taxpayer money, who is against feeding kids? Now, you
I'm
always
sorry.
and typically it's the hypocrites, and this is what I mean by hypocrites. It's the people who are saying that they're pro-life.
Mhm.
We want to protect the life of the child. Feeding them is part of protecting the life of the child,
Yeah, you
right?
gotta understand, a majority of a child's day is spent in school,
Mhm. It felt
Monday
like the
through
whole
Friday.
day. It felt like the
It's
whole
the
day.
whole damn day.
'Cause
I remember
you get up in the morning just to go to school. You
Yeah,
come home from school just to do school work and then
more
go
school.
to bed. That's it. It's school.
It's school all day long. You would think part of that would be, "Hey, why don't we feed these kids? We
Right.
got them all day.
Mhm.
Why don't we feed them?" So that they have the energy and the brain power to learn what we're teaching them.
Yeah.
It feels like common sense. Who is against feeding children? That's why this country is in the situation that it is today, where you have so many unhoused and hungry children, is
Mhm.
because if I'm gonna pay taxes, because I gotta pay them,
Mhm.
we all
We ain't got no choice.
we ain't got no damn choice. I would prefer that my taxes go to feed and house children and to support their education because they are the future of this country. It feels like common sense. And this is the kind of, and I feel like Tim Walz would say it just like this. You're an idiot if you don't think that that's common sense. I feel like that's the way Tim Walz would deliver it. And I love that
Yeah.
because that's how I would say it. That's how I'm saying it right now.
I yeah, I have an associate that brought up something like this and said, "I just wanna be in control of where my tax dollars goes." And I said, "Okay, well, in the history of America has been so bad at helping anybody that doesn't represent them,
Mhm.
anybody that doesn't look like them.
Mhm.
So why would we allow you to have control of where your tax dollars are going when we know it's only going to go to benefit people that look like you?"
And also, hey, listen, they're not the best people in the world, but Congress, the United States Congress, made up of Congress and the Senate, these are extremely intelligent people.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, most of the, sometimes they are. They know what they know the job. Let's say the Senate does.
Mm.
Okay,
The
the
Senate,
Senate.
most of the Senate,
They
some of
know
the
the
Senate.
jobs. Whether or not they do the right thing, that's another question. But they know
Okay.
the job.
Now,
And if
not Tommy
people,
Tuberville. Not Tommy Tuberville. He doesn't know the job.
well, you win some, you lose some. But they've spent decades on this finance problem. Some of the greatest economic minds in this country have spent decades on this finance problem. You sitting on your couch with a communications degree ain't gonna figure it out.
Can't even balance your own checkbook. People don't balance their
Exactly.
checkbooks anymore.
You get,
But you
I
get
where you going? Like, please, you want to be in charge where your tax dollars go? No.
No.
We have a government that we elect to do this for us. And if you have a problem with it, run for office.
Can you imagine if people's in charge, their tax dollars, roads be all messed up,
Everything.
stoplights
Like,
be not working.
are you
you don't
kidding?
know what you don't know how to run infrastructure. You can barely run your own household, and you gonna control the infrastructure of your city or your state or the country. Shut up.
Right. Shut
up.
Listen, you be talking about I'm gonna put $20 on education. Let's put 20 on that. Do we have to pay military right now? Okay, let's put 100 on that. Let's put a stack on that. Like, no,
let's not even get into the fact that a lot of people talk about they are defenders of the military, but these VA benefits are straight trash.
Trash.
So you're not really you defending, you back up the arms of the military, not actually the people. That's what that's about. But speaking of military, I didn't even mean that segue. I'm just starting to get good at this, podcasting and show thing.
I also read the rundown, and I try to do a little lead in if I can on various things.
I don't be knowing if you pay attention to the rundown. I just be doing the stuff, and I'm like, I don't know if Jay pays attention to it or not.
Yeah.
But okay.
No,
anyway, speaking of military, there's been some attacks on Timothy Walz's military record, particularly from J.D. Vance, who's got his own military thing going on.
Right. Who writing briefs from an air-conditioned room in Baghdad.
You know what? I'm not going to knock anybody that went into the service to defend the country. I just feel like you shouldn't knock anybody either if you ain't really do too much. But anyway, what are some of the attacks? Well, originally, one of the attacks is his deployment, Tim Walz's deployment to Iraq. Here's the claim. Vance and others have accused Walz of dropping out of the National Guard when his platoon was slated for deployment to Iraq. Here's the actual fact, because I'm giving you the claim and I'm going to give you the facts. Here's the actual facts. Walz retired from the Minnesota National Guard in May of 2005 to run for Congress. So he's retired. Everybody knew he was retiring in May 2005 to run for Congress. His battalion received official notification of potential deployment in March of 2005. But the actual order came in July 2005, 2 months after Walz had retired.
The man retired.
After 24 years.
20.
And he was running for Congress. So he left one service of the country to enter in another service of the country after he had done 24 years. And it wasn't because he was like, I'm not trying to go to Iraq. That wasn't it.
Do you know how many years J.D. Vance served in the U.S. Marine Corps?
How long?
4.
Well, I mean,
like 2003 to 2007 as a combat correspondent in a non-combative role, which included a 6-month deployment to the Public Affairs Office in Iraq.
Okay. Well, look, I'm not going to knock that.
Not going to knock it
because that's more than me.
It's still an important role.
Right.
But baby girl.
You're not calling baby girl because it's eyeliner, are you?
Yes. That's exactly why.
He's trying to be a baddie.
He's trying to be a baddie, and I don't like it. No one does.
Let me get more into the military service, but I am curious about his eyeliner. Is that just natural, or is he actually doing something? I don't know because I don't know makeup.
Right. I don't know either.
Another attack on Tim Walz was his combat service. Here's the claim. The claim is that Vance, this is once again an accusation by Vance, has accused Walz of falsely suggesting he saw combat during his service. Here's the fact. Walz has made statements about carrying weapons of war during his service, which some have interpreted as implying combat experience. Now, I'll say that's a gray area. I'll say that he misspoke and he probably shouldn't have said that. But if you're going on legitimate like wording, he probably did carry weapons of war.
Yeah.
He just probably did. I mean, he obviously didn't carry it during war, but I
He
mean,
didn't say he used weapons of war. He said he carried them.
well, I mean, yes. I mean, some military people have been saying, that's a gray area. He maybe shouldn't have said that. But once again, it was during a town hall and he was talking about war and guns. And okay, so I'm not giving it the claim that Vance is giving it, but I'm saying a little gray, like a shade. Like it's not dark gray, it's light gray. it's light gray. It's
So,
faint. It's a
it's
faintish
fine.
gray.
I think it's a matter of semantics.
It is.
But he was not factually incorrect. He probably did carry
Yeah, he did
weapons of
care.
war.
Yeah, he wasn't factually incorrect. All right,
Yeah.
another attack on his military record is his actual military rank. So here's a claim. The Republican National Committee criticized Walz for misrepresenting his military rank in campaign materials. Here's the actual fact. Walz did raise to the rank of commanding sergeant major, but retired as a major sergeant because he had not completed the requirements for a higher rank. So he ain't lying.
He ain't lying.
The military recognized him as a commanding sergeant major.
Yeah.
But you retire at different ranks from what
Right.
I understand in the military. You retire at different ranks. So these attacks on Tim Walz are not valid.
No. But they're trying because they really, really have no good answer for this ticket. They just don't.
Yeah, I will say the DEI stuff is kind of tapered down now.
Yeah. Luckily, I mean, after Trump's abysmal performance at the National Association of Black Journalists convention, I think the full pivot was we are not going to talk about race anymore. Now you still got him out there doing it because you can't rein him in. But
Right.
and of course Byron Davis, which do not even get me started on the fact that this man has biracial children and is also Jamaican, but is still calling Kamala Harris's racial identity into question. I don't understand that.
Does he call himself into question?
Right. Because Black people are not indigenous to Jamaica.
Nope. But okay.
Anyways. But it seems to be a hard pivot away from the race things. Yes.
Yeah, they would be smart. So Tim Walz, the VP candidate. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, when you are voting for president of the United States, the vice president's role in that is, they're there.
They'll have their own assignments for
Yes.
things, but
Yes.
they're not the president.
Right. That's the point I'm trying to make. They're not the president. So Tim Walz is cool. Kamala Harris is the person that you're voting for if you're voting for Kamala Harris. Donald Trump is the person that you're voting for. If you're voting for Donald Trump, it's not J.D. Vance. So
they're on the ticket, so you're voting for both.
You're voting for both, but for president. Like okay, so that's the point I'm trying to make. So
that you need to make that point to J.D. Vance because I don't think it's clicking, Stephen, because he's still following around the presidential candidate.
Well, that's also because Trump wasn't campaigning for a little while. He just got back on the campaign trail
has definitely not been
last
doing
night.
He's definitely not been doing the same number of rallies that he used to do.
Because
he's not drawing the crowds.
Yeah, he's not liking the fact that, and my man said that his crowd at the mall was as big as Martin Luther King's crowd at the I Have a Dream speech. And but the thing was, is in his little speech, he said Martin Luther King had millions, I had thousands, but it was the same crowd. I'm like, no, millions,
no,
a million and thousands is a different. If I gave you the option of $1 million or $1,000 or even $10,000 or 20 or 30 or even $500,000, guess what? You're going to want more. So you're going to take the million. Million is more than any thousand. You know why? Because $1 million is, I think, 1,000.
It's 1,000, 100,000s.
Yes, 1,000, 100,000s.
Yes.
Is it? It's
Should be.
1,000, 100,000s? I don't think it's
Yeah.
1,000, 100,000s.
I think it is.
Because 100,000 times 10 is 1,000,000. So that math would not be mathing right.
That math ain't mathing. That's 100,000. That's 100 million. Never mind.
Yes.
It's 100,000. It's 100,000s.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
That's like,
no, that's 10 million. Hold on. I'm gonna get it.
no,
It's
you get
10 100,000s.
That's
There you
that's
go.
what I said.
I just did it. I just did the math. It's
You
10.
didn't do the math. That's what I said.
No,
earlier.
I was doing it on a calculator as I was working through this.
I did it in my head.
But y'all, hey, my degree is in English.
And mine is in secondary education and social studies. We are not math majors, but regardless, Tim Walz, VP candidate. So,
yeah, the thing about that, first of all, comparing your January 6th crowd to Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech is wild. Second, he said, when Martin Luther King gave that speech, great speech, I want him to name the speech. I want him to name it. Lastly, Trump does not come up with his own ideas. He gets pieces of things from other people and he kind of stitches out together what he remembers, and it usually comes out as nonsense. So somebody somewhere compared his crowd size to Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech crowd size, and he took that as if that was a real thing and he ran with it. And I want to know who that person is.
I don't know who that person is.
Get jumped.
I don't know who that person is, but if I was going to venture to guess, it would probably be Jesse Walters from Fox News, because that's the type of buffoonery and ignorance that would come out of his mouth. If it's not attributed to him, and I'm not attributing to him, I'm just saying that that's something that he would say, because nonsense and idiotic statements typically come out of his mouth.
Agreed.
But God, he's a buffoon. But anyway, that's Tim Walz.
Yeah.
We're going to get into some more patriotic stuff before we talk about men. We're going to get into that next. All right, Jay, this was not on the original rundown. It was not. No. But you texted me this morning and you was hot about something that happened at the Olympics. Yes. So I'm going to give you the floor to go ahead and talk about that. Jordan
Chiles. Now, again, I'm Black, and I know her name is Chiles, but it's Childs. And that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to put that D in there. But no, Jordan Chiles won bronze for her individual floor routine at the Olympics in gymnastics. What happened is they're scored on their difficulty and their execution. The difficulty score is decided before they even start. And it's based on the difficulty of their routine. Mm-hmm. The judges inputted the wrong difficulty score for Jordan Chiles. They put it much less than, I think, like 0.3 of a point less than what it should have been. So when she was scored after her routine, it looked like she was in 5th place. So her team made an inquiry and the judges realized their mistake, corrected it. It placed her in 3rd. She got the bronze medal. She stood on the podium, took that amazing all Black woman podium with Simone Biles and Rebecca Andrade from Brazil, who won gold. And great, that was 5 days ago. Now, the Romanian team challenged that, saying that her team submitted the inquiry too late. You have 1 minute to submit an inquiry about your score. According to I don't know who, she submitted the inquiry 1 minute and 4 seconds. So she was late. First of all, if the inquiry was late, why did they accept it? Because they knew they had made a mistake. They had made a mistake, and that she had earned and deserved the bronze medal. And so they corrected their mistake. Well, the Olympic court has ruled in favor of Romania. that the inquiry was made too late and they're asking for Jordan's medal back. If I was the Romanian gymnast, I wouldn't want it because I didn't earn it with my score. My performance did not earn a bronze medal. Jordan's performance earned a bronze medal. And so for me to get it on a technicality, to me, just undermines all the work that we've all put in to get to where we are. I don't want to win something on a technicality. I want to win it because I earned it and I deserve it. So now forever, her bronze medal is going to have an asterisk next to it. I'm sure this is incredibly traumatizing for Jordan Chiles, who posted yesterday that she will be taking time away from social media to focus on her mental health. Because she's already home. Like, she's home, got her medal, she's home. So to ask for it back when she earned it is incredibly unfair. There has never been an Olympian who has had their medal rescinded. Never. There's only two ways to do that, is cheating or doping. She did neither. She earned that. So I 100% stand with her. I believe, I saw this, do not quote me on it, but that her team is fighting it. I sincerely hope that they do, because technicality or no, it was the judge's error in the first place, not Jordan's. I don't think that she should be penalized when she earned her medal. She earned it. Like, it's not a situation where, oh, they raised her score, but they made a mistake. No. And, you could bring race into it. I don't think this is a racial issue. I think it's a greed issue. But I mean, also, I feel like for the Romanian team, like, I get the embarrassment. You thought you got the bronze, you got your flag, or running around with it, taking pictures and stuff. And then a moment later to find out you're actually in 5th place.
Yeah.
I'm positive that was embarrassing and upsetting. But you also earned that score.
So I have a variety of different things going on in my head. The first and foremost, judges, y'all had one job to do.
And it's not the first thing in the Paris Olympics where y'all have, boy, the whole thing with them locking out Shelly Ann Fraser-Price and Sha'Carri Richardson.
Well, that's the committee. That wasn't the judges. So you're talking about the Olympic committee. I'm talking
about the Paris Olympics, period. There were several issues.
There's some issues, yes. I'm talking about the judges. They had one job to do. Mm-hmm. You know me. I look at things from all point of views. I feel really bad for Jordan. You stood up in that podium, you got the bronze medal.
Yeah.
And you legitimately earned the bronze medal.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the Romanian gymnast, because there was a point, because of the judges' error, that they felt like, I'm a bronze medalist. The easy solution is both get the bronze medal, because they both legitimately have a claim to it. If the judges had never been pointed out their error, Romanian won it. Whether it's a technicality or not, Romanian won it. Once the error had got pointed out, Jordan legitimately won it. So I think this is an instance where they both deserve the bronze medal. I especially feel bad for whoever came in 4th.
Right.
Because they was like, wait a minute. They get talked about being bronze medalists. What about me?
Actually, let me correct. It looked like Jordan was in 5th place. She was actually in 3rd. I believe the Romanian gymnast got moved down to 4th place.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, so the easy solution is they both get a bronze medal. I feel bad for Jordan. Yeah. The judges screwed this up.
Yeah.
The judges screwed this up. And I feel like that's the easiest solution. Both of them get a bronze medal, and it would be great if the Romanian government got together with the US government and did like a joint press conference where they took the picture together as bronze medalists. Jordan should kind of understand as well that the Romanian gymnasts also went through something.
Well,
They both got robbed.
they tried to do that.
Oh, they
And
did.
the Olympic Committee said no.
Okay, so the committee is messing up. Hey,
Yeah.
so you was right. Committee dropping the ball on this one again. Well, this is a sad story, but you know what? It is a good story.
What's that?
Armani Khalif won that gold medal. Biologically from birth woman,
yes,
won the women's gold medal in boxing.
Yes.
After everything that she was going through,
she
from an emotional and a mental standpoint, persevered and won that gold medal. So shout out to Armani. I don't know. I saw him on social media.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of bots. There's a lot of Russian and Chinese bots that are purposely, if you guys think it's not real, it's real. A lot of the people that you think you're talking to are bots created by the Russians and Chinese to sow dissent in the American society. And they have been doing a fantastic job because we all can't stand each other. Still,
but
people
we never
out there
really
calling, this is true. There's always been some bickering. The Civil War was only 160, it was less than 200 years ago. So when really this country is really not old. That's maybe four generations, probably three. So yes, a lot of times the people that are on there that you're arguing with aren't real people. Don't argue with them. But I still see a lot of these bots saying that Armani is male. And it's just like, I don't know how much more information you need.
Honestly, just watch her press conference after winning the gold. And you will see a woman who went through immense bullying and harassment, was refused a spot at Worlds for baseless reasons.
Once again, controlled by the Russians.
Yeah, ambiguous and vague reasons. And she is nothing but graceful. And all she did was ask for people to uphold the Olympic principles and to stop the bullying and harassment of athletes. She wasn't even speaking just on behalf of herself, but of all the athletes who have experienced harassment and bullying, particularly online. And I am immensely proud. A lot of people, for some reason, think that they're in a rivalry with America. No, we literally love not an underdog, but yeah, like an underdog story. Like we love it because that's who we were at one time.
Well, there's a bunch of factors of why people may feel like, and there are some Americans who are not happy about this. One, she comes from a Muslim country. Two, whatever the question was, and on social media that was false, there's still some people who are not getting the corrective information that still think it was a man, it was a female. So, and I'm going to believe that a lot of the furor, from, say what? Fervor, thank you. From the talk about her gender, I'm going to believe that a lot of it was American, because that's a part of our culture war right now. I think it's bigger here. That culture war is bigger here than it is just about anywhere else.
A lot of the prominent names were British. Prominent TERFs and other people. But yeah, there were Americans doing it. But as far as like us supporting other athletes from other countries, particularly Americans of color, we will support other athletes from other countries. Like, obviously,
underdog story.
USA all day.
Right.
But if we're not in it, if we're not in the competition, we're rooting for somebody. Okay, we're going to root for somebody. It's probably Not gonna be Australia anymore because they hating on us. But y'all
Well,
are in that by yourselves, by the way. Like, we don't consider you rivals, but okay.
they hating on us because of they sorry ass breakdancer.
Listen, and the fact that y'all, I don't know if it was the prime minister or whoever that came on and said she is the best breakdancer female that Australia has to offer. I love her and she shouldn't be subject to this bullying harassment. It's okay to not participate in an event. America doesn't participate in every single event. We don't send an athlete for every single event. Sometimes we just don't have one.
Right.
Or they don't make qualifiers or whatever. You don't have to send somebody for every event.
Well, they can have pride in the fact that this breakdancer represented it, and the bullying is the bullying. It's a, as Dave Chappelle has said, everything is funny until it happens to you. So yes, it's hilarious.
Yes.
But if we were being treated like that on social media, it wouldn't be funny.
But here's the thing. Are we bullying her or are we just putting the video of her up?
No, it's the putting the video and then the comments and the context and the yes,
yeah,
we are.
But I mean,
she tried her best. It was the best.
I think critique of athletes on the global stage in global competition is fair. Critique of athletes is fair.
Some athletes would say, hey, some of it's not fair. And
yeah, I mean,
saying like, hey, this wasn't good because of this maneuver, or she didn't pop lock this way because of this maneuver.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. That she
was
not good enough. She was not good enough to be in that competition, period. Because the Australian male that they put up was great. He was amazing. She should not have been up there.
Well,
and y'all embarrassed her and yourselves by putting her up there.
I just feel bad. I feel, you know me. I be having empathy.
You're a bleeding heart, and I get that. But nobody put a gun to Australia's head and said, send somebody for the female portion of the breakdancing competition or else.
Did she see video of herself breakdancing before she went to the Olympics? Or, I mean,
she is actually a professor at a university in Australia, and she teaches cultural studies, including the culture of breakdancing.
Oh, okay. Maybe she just stick to teaching.
Because those who can do, and those who can't teach. And that's that's where that was her lane. That's her lane. And I bet you she is emphatically enthusiastic about breakdancing and probably hip hop culture. And she probably teaches an amazing course on it. That's her lane. She should not have got up there bunny hopping, which is not
what if her country asked her to do
dancing move.
What if her country came to her and said, we want you to do this? And she was like, I don't know. And it was like, it would be good for the country.
She should have said, I believe there are other dancers in this country who can better represent us in breakdancing than me. Because I'm going to get up there and flail around and roll around on the ground and embarrass myself and my country.
It was
and really make what was the debut of breakdancing kind of a joke, which sucked because there were a lot of really great dancers who competed.
You're right.
And you wouldn't. There's also this video. I forgot what country he's from. His nickname is the Eel. If you watch Olympic highlights with Kevin Hart and Keaton Thompson, they show a clip of this man from, I forget which Olympics. I want to say maybe Rio. He is a swimmer. His nickname is the Eel. He dove in that water, and it took him 45 minutes to swim the length of that pool. It was the slowest it was embarrassing. He should not have been there. Okay? Should not have been there. It's like if you sense, hey, the U.S. men's 4x100 relay team, who in every year for the last 20 years, every Olympics, have either dropped the baton or mishanded off that baton and not medaled. And they didn't medal this year because, again, the same thing happened with the baton. They don't need to be, like Carter Lewis said, this is abysmal. They don't need to be on that track unless they can hand off the baton properly. They don't have any business on the track if they can't do that. And the problem is we had a relay team that we used for qualifiers and semifinals and everything, and then you replaced them with stars for the final. And these stars are too busy worrying about their little individual thing to think about what's best for the team.
Yeah.
And she and whoever sent her were thinking about themselves and not what's best to represent their country. And the best, if she was the best they had to offer, they should not have sent anyone to compete for the female portion of breakdancing, period. Because everybody is laughing at breakdancing, which is an art form that has been around since the 70s. Of course, invented and developed and popularized by Black Americans.
Black and Puerto Rican. Black and Puerto Rican. Gotta give shout out to Puerto Ricans out there. Yes.
Who are also Black. So but and American. So even though they compete separate in the Olympics, but whatever. And people have dedicated their lives to this. And so to get this platform, like to choose dancing to be in the Olympics and them not go with something like ballroom, right? Mm-hmm. For them to have chosen breakdancing, trying to appeal to younger people and, you know, trying to open it up, for y'all to make it a joke. Like, you really hurt it as a sport. And it might not appear again in the Olympics.
Well, speaking of embarrassment, let's move to our final topic. We're going to make this brief. I saw something on the internet, on social media, and I shared it with you. And I was like, I kind of want to talk about this because I want to hear your perspective. It was a meme. In the meme, it says, men don't like big celebrations for their birthday. They just want to do whatever they want to do that day, and everybody respect it. And I was like, that's interesting.
It's important to note that it's a woman who's writing this.
Right. It was important to know that it was a woman that was writing it. And then I went into the comments and men started commenting on this. Some of the comments was, because y'all will call a dude gay if he wanted to celebrate. Okay. You'll call a guy sassy or zesty if he wants to celebrate his birthday. It's considered not manly for men to celebrate anything unless it's a celebration of somebody else, but not to celebrate themselves. It would be called, it'd basically be called, they'd be deemed as less of a man celebrating. And I never thought about that, but men do not. First of all, let's talk about what is it? Pejoratives? Yeah. Is that the right word?
I don't know what you're trying to say, so maybe.
The pejoratives, I think. What does pejorative mean?
It's pejorative is like a negative
sentiment. Let's say that.
Yes.
Okay, so I had it right. By using gay.
Yes. They're using gay as a pejorative.
Using gay as a pejorative to make it be something as negative, when fact of the matter is, why can't men call up their boys and go out to dinner and celebrate their birthday? Women do it all the time. Why is it that men have to be zesty or sassy just because they want to celebrate themselves? I find it hypocritical that women are constantly saying men need to be hard in certain areas, but soft when handling them.
Yeah.
In other words, understanding their emotions, understanding what a woman is going through. That requires a balance of emotional intelligence that they're not allowing some women that some women are not allowing men to have within themselves. And how can women expect that when men aren't doing it themselves. It's not a switch that you could turn on and you could say, oh, now I have emotional intelligence to handle you. And it
Yeah.
was a lot of women in these comments that are saying, yeah, men can't do that. Men can't do that. And by the way, I would not date any of these women.
No.
Because if you're going to restrict me or say I'm not manly because I want to do certain things like, oh, wear pink
Yeah.
or decorate my house with artwork. Uh,
Yeah.
and I found it interesting because I told
Artwork
the
that's
story.
not Jordan dunking
Right,
or a Nike swoosh.
right. I found it interesting because I know I've said it on the show. Part of the reasons why I didn't do theater in high school, though I kind of secretly really wanted to,
Mhm.
was because I didn't want to be called as less manly because I was going to do something artistic.
Yeah.
And here I am now doing something artistic, but I wasted 30 years
Yeah.
because of this connotation of, well, that's not a manly thing to do. Now I've just got that big age where I just don't care.
Right.
But there's a lot of young men out there who are being forced into a certain, I don't know.
Box.
Yes, they're being boxed into a certain characteristic of what is perceived as manly and
Mhm.
even fostered by other men. It's not just women. Other men will
Yeah.
call you out as well. And it's disheartening.
Yeah. The answer is simple. It's the patriarchy. And guess what? Men and women can be bound up in that and
Mhm,
can be sexist.
mhm,
Because society is telling you, in order to be considered a man, these are the qualities and traits that you have to have. Your value lies in what you can provide or contribute, nothing else, right? Literally nothing else. Your value is in what you can provide.
mhm,
And these are ways that you can present as a man, and that's it. That's
mhm,
it. And people, men and women, believe this.
mhm.
And it keeps everyone, particularly men, but everyone from living their best life.
That's the point that I was trying to make. That's the point. We talk about authenticity and being your authentic self.
Mhm.
And it's tough, right?
Yeah.
You succumb to peer pressure because society says that you should be a certain way.
Yeah.
And in some instances, society says that you should be a certain way, and it's absolutely the way that you should be. But there are a lot of instances where it's stripping away who you are as a person, where society is wrong.
Yeah.
Society is right when it says, don't go out there, commit crimes, and hurt other people.
Yeah.
That's a universal
That's
thing that society says. Don't go do that. Uh, One of the ways that society is wrong is by saying this is the only way that a man can be, and this is the only way that a man can present,
mhm.
or a woman can present, and you must adhere to these principles of what we deem as manly and feminine. And no, that's not how people are. My bestie has a, more masculine traits than she does feminine traits.
Yeah.
She has BDE. And if you don't know what that is, just Google search it. I'm not going to say it on the show. She has
Right.
BDE and she ain't even got no BD.
Right. But
Uh,
this the energy.
it's
It's
the
the
energy.
energy
It's
that
the
you exude.
energy.
She's an
And
alpha female.
well, my theory is nobody's truly alpha or beta. It's all circumstances.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's literally just your response to a given situation.
Yeah.
You are always a different person. You're constantly changing and evolving. The way I respond to something today could be totally different than the way I respond to it tomorrow. There is absolutely the alpha beta thing is not a real thing.
I tell people that all the time. It's not a real
Yeah.
thing because guys are always quick to say, I'm an alpha. I was like, okay, you're alpha. If I punch you in your face right now, I bet you succumb to the fact that you're a beta in this moment.
Mhm.
I say that all the time to dudes
Yeah.
because I'm like, okay, well, I'm bigger than you. I'm stronger than you. And my hands, even though they're a lot slower than they used to be, are still quick enough to punch you in your eyes. So in this instance, are you an alpha or a beta? Well, nothing. So that idea of you being an alpha is not correct. Another instance where you're not an alpha. Can you handle going to jail? Because there's a bunch of men in there that consider themselves alpha. Would you be
Mhm.
an alpha in jail or a beta? Would you be an
Right.
alpha or a beta in the military?
Mhm.
Most men that enter the military are betas because you have to follow orders.
Yes.
So
there is a pecking order, and
there's
you
a
are not
pecking
at
order.
the top of it.
Right. In life, there's always a pecking order. At your job, you can say that you're an alpha male, but do you have a boss?
Right.
Because you played a beta role in that scenario. So, like,
Yeah.
yes. And people need to realize there is no such thing as being strictly alpha or strictly beta. It's all circumstances. And sometimes also men want to celebrate things. Sometimes they don't.
Yes.
I had a gathering last year. It was one of the most uncomfortable situations for me to have a gathering for my birthday. But everybody was saying, hey, let's do something for your birthday. And instead of doing 10 different things, I said, I'm going to just see y'all all at once because this is the only time I want to do this.
Right.
And I did it. And this year I decided not to do it. And then I had to do 10 different things all at once. And I hate them both. So,
Yes. But that's anxiety.
That
has nothing to do with how you feel about yourself as a man. And I will say this to men. Listen, every woman ain't healed. And it's okay to be like, you ain't worth a damn, and keep it pushing.
Yes.
Let her find another toxic man, and they can be toxic and sexist together. If that ain't for you, it ain't for you. Keep it pushing.
That requires men to have a certain level of emotional intelligence, and we are very visceral creatures, and we will stay in a situation as long as a woman looks good because the woman looks good.
And
so
that is also patriarchy, because it is this idea of having an attractive mate as a trophy, right? To walk her around. Who is she attractive? That attractive for?
Ooh, are you saying that I suffer from patriarchy because I get a kick when I'm with my significant other? Most men hate it when their significant other is being stared at by other men.
Most
always
men
like
hate it because they're not as large as you, and so
I would say not as secure. I'm pretty secure that I can. If I got a baddie, I can get another baddie. So if she decide to leave me, I'm not tripping.
There's the insecurity piece of it, which is definitely the large piece of it. But another thing is the intimidation from other men, right? It's a way that, like, a common way women deflect attention from men is to say you have a boyfriend, right? Because men don't respect your no, but they'll respect that there's another man there.
Oh, yeah. I never thought about that.
Yeah. So that's why we be lying to y'all and say, I got a man. Sorry. Oh, you got me. All right. But my no earlier didn't mean wasn't worth a damn. Yeah.
All right. So men out there, if you want to celebrate your birthday, go celebrate your birthday. Don't care about what other people say. That's actually alpha mentality, is to not care what other people think of you and just do you. Do what makes you happy, as long as you're not hurting other people. I need to put that caveat because people were like, oh, I like to hit women. That's not what I'm talking about.
No.
Just do what makes you happy as long as you're not hurting anybody else. Well, I like to cheat on women. That's you. That's you cheating.
Hurting people.
You're hurting people. That's not what I'm talking about. Yeah. Have a bigger brain than that. But Jay, what do you want to tell the people out there?
When you at the nail shop or any public space, you don't have to be talking on speakerphone. Especially when what you're talking about is whether or not some guy gave your friend herpes. That's a private conversation that you don't need to be having next to me while we're sitting here at this nail shop. Have some respect and decency for the people around you. Have a little bit of social etiquette. Put your AirPods in and have that conversation. That's not a speakerphone conversation for everybody up in this nail shop to hear. Get yourselves together. Have some self-awareness. That's all I gotta say.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, I'll holla. Whew. That was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching it to it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast. But the real party is on our Patreon page, After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspectives.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you're really feeling ingenuous and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciative. Most importantly, I want to say thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace.